This is The Big Story presented by herbchambers.com.
I'm Peter Canellos, the editorial page editor of the Boston Globe. It's midday on Election Day, and I think all of us are waiting to see whether the changes in Massachusetts politics that were detected back in January when Scott Brown was elected U.S. Senator are going to carry through to today's races for governor and for the House of Representatives. For a long time, Massachusetts has been considered pretty much a one-party state. We have had a string of Republican governors, but they've been sort of the aberration rather than the rule. When it comes to federal office, Senate, U.S. House, almost always the Democrats have won. Brown changed that and showed that maybe Massachusetts is getting more conservative. There certainly are large parts of this state that are suffering economically more than the Boston area, and those voters seem to be angry and want a real change in the status quo. So there's a great opportunity today for the Republican Party, but there's also a very energized set of Democratic incumbents who are out there fighting for their seats. So I wouldn't be surprised to see it go either way. The Republican Party and conservatives nationally have been pouring money into Sean Bielet's campaign. He's the Brookline management consultant who's running against Barney Frank, and is a bright young candidate who sort of contrasts well with Frank in that, there's a 35-year age difference between them. Sean Bielet is sort of a smiling guy who makes a boyish impression. Barney Frank is kind of grizzled and, has a kind of mordant humor about him. But the two of them are very skilled and knowledgeable about business and have had a fairly high-minded debate between them. Outside, however, of Brookline and Newton, this has become a kind of national referendum on Barney Frank's brand of liberalism. Even though many people feel like Frank has been quite a centrist head of the Financial Services Committee, nationally he's still known as the gay congressman who's sort of the face of the opposition to Don't Ask, Don't Tell and things like that, and among fundamentalist Christians particularly, he's a very big target. And this race is very, very hard to judge. I think it will be far closer than Frank's previous campaigns. I think we can take that for granted. But I personally would be very surprised if Barney Frank lost. And I think that somehow in all of the cacophony of negative ads and things like that, it looks as though Frank's on the verge of defeat, but maybe he won't be. It's just a very hard situation to judge. It may also be that all of those ads and all that money really has an effect, but that's one of the things we're going to find out tonight.